Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this virtual news conference. We like this format because it helps us share important information with the media and the public while protecting us all from COVID-19. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today, COVID-19. So the holiday's approaching, and today marks 1 week until Thanksgiving Day. But the pandemic we're facing will make this year's celebrations look very different than in years past. Traditionally, families, friends, and loved ones gather in their homes and around their dinner tables on Thanksgiving Day to enjoy good food and good company, hopefully, and express gratitude for the positive things in our lives. And while these sentiments can remain the same, the way we celebrate and honor them must change in order to avoid spreading COVID-19. This is critically important for people to understand because the numbers of positive cases are steadily increasing. Nationally, the United States has surpassed 11 million coronavirus cases. And here on the state level in North Carolina, positive cases now number more than 3,000 per day. And in Wake County, we've just exceeded 25,000 cases of the virus since the pandemic began back here in early March. These are staggering numbers, folks, and they will continue to grow, and more people will get sick if we don't take the right steps over the Thanksgiving holiday to keep each other healthy and safe. That's why Wake County is launching a public awareness campaign today aimed at educating our residents on proven ways to limit exposure to the virus over the holidays. We hope our do this, not that approach will help residents clearly see what they can do to make Thanksgiving memories in this time of COVID-19, not just what they can't do. Every choice we make matters right now. By empowering each resident to make the right choices to protect their loved ones from COVID-19, we can ultimately protect our entire community from this virus. Joining me now to talk about how to make this a healthier holiday is our wonderful Dr. Nicole Mushonga. She serves as Wake County's Associate Medical Director and Epidemiology Program Director. Dr. Mushonga, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Ford, for inviting me to speak on this important topic. You're right. The power is in each of our hands to slow the spread of COVID-19. And to build a better tomorrow, we must all follow the same instructional manual. That's what I'm here today to share with you, the recipe for a safe and healthy Thanksgiving holiday. If there's one thing we know for certain, it's that when people get together in large groups and don't wear masks, COVID-19 spreads. Wearing a face covering, even when social distancing is possible, lowers the risk of contracting the virus. Since COVID-19 spreads through droplets, covering your nose and mouth is an essential way to protect yourself and others. So please wear a mask. Also, limit the list of people you host for Thanksgiving dinner to those who live with you. We know this is a difficult request. We know you miss spending time with your extended family and friends, and you're tired of COVID-19 preventing you from enjoying the holiday traditions with the people you care about most. We understand because we're living it too. But the best way to show your family and friends that you love them this Thanksgiving is to limit your guest list to just those who live in your home. This sacrifice will go a long way towards preventing the virus from spreading. That's not possible. Make sure your gathering includes fewer than 10 people if it's located indoors and fewer than 50 if it's held outdoors. Our guidepost is simple. The smaller the group, the lower the risk of spreading COVID-19. If you're hosting a Thanksgiving meal, think in advance about seating arrangements. We strongly recommend having people who live together sit together. And rather than using one long table, use several small tables, spaced 6 feet apart. These easy steps will help facilitate social distancing during a time when you'll be in close contact with others for more than 15 minutes. Also, opt for an outdoor setting when possible. If it's not, open the windows or sliding doors at opposite sides of your home to improve the air circulation. If you have an HVAC system, run the fan for longer periods or continuously. Make sure filters are clean and consider upgrading to a higher efficiency filter. Another important tip is to remind guests to wash or sanitize their hands frequently, not just before they eat. Placing bottles of hand sanitizer throughout the house will keep cleanliness at the forefront of everyone's mind. In that same vein, have one person plate all the food and serve it to the guests to reduce potential for spreading germs. And give each guest their own disposable cup and ask them to write their name on it, so there's no chance of confusing cups and accidentally drinking after a friend or a relative. When making your Thanksgiving plans, consider the health and safety of the people in your life who may be at higher risk of serious illness from COVID-19. I'm talking about older adults, people with obesity, diabetes, cancer, or other chronic medical problems. To protect their well-being, families can use technology to stay connected over the holiday instead of getting together in person. Through a webcam or a camera phone, Grandpa can still share his recipe for a bountiful bird or for that perfect pecan pie. And great aunts and uncles from near and far can still enjoy a meal with you without worrying about COVID-19. Virtual celebrations offer many of the perks of a traditional family gathering without the risk. Thanksgiving isn't all we need to plan ahead for next week. Black Friday shopping is another tradition that many families and friends enjoy every year as they head to stores to try and get the best deals on holiday gifts. This year, because of COVID-19, we strongly urge people to take advantage of online shopping, as well as curbside or drive-through pickup options. If you can't shop online, be sure to practice the 3 W's while you're in the stores. Wear a mask over your nose and mouth, stay 6 feet apart from others, and wash your hands frequently. Definitely avoid long, cramped lines, and don't camp out in front of a store in the wee morning hours just to be the first in line to get the hottest toy or tech device. Both could increase your risk of contracting COVID-19. Instead, seek out stores that sanitize their shopping carts and baskets, follow the state's capacity guidelines, and offer touchless payment options. Shopping at off-peak times and sticking with 1 or 2 people, preferably those who live with you, are smart moves as well. No one wants to see a loved one contract COVID-19 over Thanksgiving. No holiday celebration or doorbuster deal is worth that kind of risk. So please visit our website, wakegov.com/healthierholidays, and read through our recommendations. Then implement them into your holiday planning where you can. Follow these simple steps, and this can make a significant difference in Wake County's COVID-19 outlook. Chairman Ford?
Thank you, Dr. Mushonga, for sharing that important and specific guidance for all of us. Well, we certainly hope everyone will take it to heart so we don't see a continued spike in positive cases of COVID-19 after the holidays or during the holidays, particularly 2 weeks after the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. I'm sure the reporters joining us this afternoon have some questions they'd like to ask. We certainly hope so. All media have to do is type their questions into the chat box. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. Our communications director, Dara Demai, will read them out loud to us. So, Dara, thanks for facilitating this. Would you mind sharing your first question?
Typing their questions. Am I off mute? Okay. So we're waiting for folks to type in their questions at this time. But while we do, Dr. Mushonga, we are aware of some kind of breaking news, I guess, from the CDC, where they're advising people not to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. Would you like to touch on that and discuss how that kind of culminates with what you've been sharing?
Absolutely. So I think it's important. The message that we have been sharing is that the safest way is to stay within your household and with the individuals that live with you, and not increasing that risk of potential transmission of the virus as you're traveling or meeting in other family members' homes. And so that's why it's so important that we all do to the best that we can, manage to stay within our households for Thanksgiving.
Great. Thank you for that. So we're still waiting for folks to type their questions into the chat. If you do so, please select the everyone option in the 2 drop-down menu. That way I'll be able to see it. It is possible that some of them may have gone to you, Tony. So if you could check while we're answering the next question, that would be great. How is testing going, Dr. Mushonga? Are we seeing elevated numbers of people getting tested these days at our 2 testing sites, since we're seeing cases increase as well?
Yes, that is something we're definitely seeing. We're seeing an increase in the number of people requesting testing for both of our testing sites. We are also seeing increases in our metrics that we track along with the state. The four metrics that we are looking at, it's COVID-like illness and the number of tests per day and the percent positivity and hospitalizations. Those numbers are all increased for Wake County.
Okay. Well, it doesn't appear that we have any questions at this time. Maybe you all have done such a good job presenting the information today that we don't have any questions from our media friends. Before we conclude, is there anything else, Dr. Mushonga, that you might like to add that you feel like is really important for the people to hear?
Yes, I think it's so important that everyone knows that we understand that this is a difficult time. I know for me, my family usually travels during Thanksgiving, and we've made the decision not to travel and to stay home with just our household and have Thanksgiving at home. You know, we really encourage people to reimagine what this Thanksgiving looks like and use those virtual options to connect with family that you normally would have traveled to see.
Okay, wonderful. And we have gotten in a question. This is from Colleen Quigley. She says, today the state set the single day record for new cases. Are you concerned about a potential rise in cases if people don't follow those guidelines? So Dr. Mushonga, can you answer that question? And then we have one more from WRAL that we'll get to in just a minute.
Yes, I think that is always our concern. Whenever we see that people gather together in large groups, our concern is transmission of the virus and seeing those cases reflect that as increase. So that is definitely a concern of ours.
Great. And this is from Adam Owens from WRAL. He wants to know, what is the worst case scenario that you are preparing for in terms of virus spread?
So I would say worst case scenario is seeing clusters that come out of Thanksgiving celebrations and gatherings. That's something that's concerning because where people come together, there's a tendency if someone does have the virus at that gathering that they can spread it to multiple people. And being in that setting where people they're sitting down and they're eating and they're not having a mask on at that time, that is a huge concern for us. And then that spread and that impact on our community.
Mm-hmm. And sort of a follow-up to that, Adam was wondering, have we been given any possible projections of what we might expect in terms of cases maybe for the rest of the month or for the kind of holiday season of November, December?
So I can say that, you know, we've looked at some of the data over month by month and to see, you know, where our cases are and how many cases we're getting in. And it is concerning that, you know, we're halfway through the month of November and potentially we can have more cases associated with Thanksgiving if people are not following the guidelines that have been recommended. And that's definitely a concern for us.
Thank you. So I think that's all the questions that we have gotten. They were coming to us from a couple of different chat channels. So thank you everyone for your patience. And at this point, since we don't have any remaining questions to answer, I'll send it back over to you, Chairman Ford, to close us out.
All right. Well, thank you, Dara. And thank you to the media for those great follow-up questions and for helping us share this important information with our fellow residents. For those of you watching at home, we hope you too will help us promote this vital health and safety guidance so we can keep COVID-19 at bay over Thanksgiving break and the weeks to come following. To learn more about how to plan for a healthier holiday this year, please visit our website at wakegov.com/healthierholidays. Thank you all. Stay healthy and be well, and happy Thanksgiving.